in, bitch. Hello all, welcome back to my channel. I was all dolled up and ready to do this earlier in the day and then got distracted with other stuff. So I've got a bit of vocal fry going on today, which is probably because I was in my office alone yesterday and so was singing along to songs and thus sore throat. Also allergies, what's going on? So today I wanted to talk you through my current TBR pile, which may or may not interest any of you, but really enjoyed talking about books last week, so I figured why not just continue with rolling on what the hell am I talking about. I wanted to just continue with that theme for now because next week's going to be completely different, so I figured might as well get all the book stuff out of the way right now. Because either this is interesting to you or it's not, so let's not prolong it. Last week I said I hadn't really read many books this year and I think it equated to about 4 or 5 in the end, which for me is nothing and just really sad, like to realise that I hadn't read anything. So I have a TBR pile and I am very happy to say that I have finally picked up a book, which I seem to have put on the bottom of the pile. But this week I've actually been reading this book called The Ship of Shadows, which is a middle grade, young adult, probably more middle grade, book about a girl who joins an all-female pirate ship and sail off on an adventure. I am mostly, like, over halfway through. I haven't used a bookmark for this because I've got millions of bookmarks, but I was just being really lazy. So I'm doing the thing where I try and remember what page I'm on, and if I remember correctly, that is like in a diagram what people would describe as ungodly and chaotic. So that's where I'm at right now. But oh my god, so far absolutely love it, and it's one of those books that makes you realise like you should have been reading all along. So I'm so glad that this is the book that got me out of my reading funk. I'm just loving it so much. So I mean, if you want me to put links down below, I can. I probably will do affiliate links, and they won't be Amazon because I have very strong feelings about Amazon, so they will most likely be Waterstones, probably Waterstones. So links will be below. Let's get into my TBR pile. So these are very, very eclectic, these books. Ranging from young adult to just like general fiction. So there could be something here for you. Don't click away from this thinking that I'm only going to read young adult and middle grade books, although majority of the time I do. You might see something you like. So I have this, The Raven Boys has been on my TBR list for a long time, like a long time, because I love Maggie Stiefvater and I just never get around. She writes so many books, you guys, like she's constantly writing and I can't keep up. I just can't keep up. So this has been on my list for a long time, and I finally picked it up from an indie bookshop during lockdown. And I'm really looking forward to reading it, basically. So I'm probably going to read this one next because I love myself a young adult fantasy romance. I'm not lying, I'm not going to deny it. Anything that's like mystical and lovey, that is my cup of tea. Some of these books I actually don't know anything about because they were given to me by a friend, so we're going to explore these together. I'm sorry if I keep looking at myself, but I have to make sure it's still filming and I'm in focus because focusing. So this next book that I've got on my list, or my pile, is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I actually am so excited to read this one. So this is all about when Helen was kidnapped by the Trojans and the Greek sail in pursuit and then obviously besieged the city of Troy. So let's read a little bit. The trapped in the Greek soldiers' camp is another captured queen, Briseis. I can't read words. Condemned to be a bed slave to Achilles, the man who butchered her family, she becomes a pawn in a menacing game between bored and frustrated warriors. In the centuries after this most famous war, history will write her off, a footnote in a bloody story scripted by vengeful men. But she has a very different story to tell. So, oh my god, I love anything to do with myths and Greek myths, any kind of ancient sort of thing, basically. So I'm super excited to read this book, like ridiculously. And if you know of any other kind of great fiction books based on myths and stuff, please drop them in the comments, because again, my cup of tea. This is a book that my friend gave me, and she couldn't believe that I've never read any Jodi Pickled books before. Pickled? Again, I'm butchering names today. Yeah, because I mostly just read young adult, so I don't read just general fiction. But she basically told me that I had to read her books, and she had this one in her car because we were doing a bit of a book swap. So I'm going to read this one. Also, I'm pretty sure it's like about ice skating and stuff, which I'm obsessed with. So I keep saying so all the time. If you ever see like really short edits, it's because I'm trying to get rid of all the so's that I say. I'll read the back because I don't know what this is about either. Willow O'Keefe has 7 broken bones before she took her first breath. Now her life is lived on a knife edge. Born with brittle bone disease, she will never learn to skate like her sister. Even walking can be dangerous. One wrong step and she's back in a cast. The medical bills are crippling her family, so when a lawyer tells Charlotte, her mother, that they might have a case to sue for wrongful birth, she feels bound to consider it. Except that winning would mean losing her best friend and telling the world that she wishes her much longed for adored daughter had never been born. So it sounds complex and I don't know how I'm going to get on with this because it sounds like a very adult story, not in the rude way. But I'm going to give it a whirl because apparently I'm missing out on Jodi's books. So have you read them? Let me know in the comments. I'm trying to keep this quick because I know how boring book videos can be sometimes. Don't tell anyone I said that. Zodiac, I've had Zodiac on my pile, in my pile since December. Me and my boyfriend actually bought each other the book for Christmas last year, so we both have a copy of this, like this exact copy, because we watched the film and I love anything to do with serial killers like most people. It's one of those things that's very, very captivating. And so I watched Zodiac last year for the first time and loved it. The film is great, but it also just made me just insanely like curious about everything about it, because I wasn't obviously born when it happened and I live in the UK, so I don't really know how much coverage the story got over here. Apparently a lot of people know about it. I grew up not knowing anything about it and only heard about it when the film came out. So I'm still new to all of this, like just everything about it, and I'm so excited to read this because, you know, mysteries and stuff, and real life mysteries. The Hate You Give. Obviously it's a must read and it's been on my list of things to read for such a long time, and I recently got it in a subscription box. I have a friend, I'm going to call her a friend, she is kind of like a colleague but not really. So I run an online bookshop, and I met this girl online on Instagram and she runs a secondhand book subscription box. So we became friends, and she recently did an autumn box, and what you do is, I'll leave a link to her website down below. You fill in a little questionnaire about the kind of books that you like to read, and she finds you a second-hand book which fits your needs and your wants. And this is actually the book that I saw her advertising the box for, with whatever word I should have put in there. And I was so excited that she put this in my box because I wanted to read it for oh, ever since it came out. So, can't wait to read this. Let me see where the little blurb is. I hate when books put it on the inside. I'm going to say that right now. A blurb should go on the outside, and these should be smaller, you know, but that's just me. So, Star lives in two worlds. The poor neighbourhood where she was born and raised and her posh high school in the suburbs. The uneasy balance between them is shattered when Star is the only witness to the fatal shooting of her unarmed best friend, Khalil, by a police officer. Now what Star says could destroy her community, and it could also get her killed. So this was a book that I had on my list before the Black Lives Matter movement started. Well, this year anyway. And when everything happened, I really made it my mission to try and read more books by Black, Indigenous, people of colour, you know, like just different people. I just need a different perspective on life other than mine. So this book was one of the ones that I desperately wanted to read, and I'm really excited to get into it. So yes. I got this book as a present for my birthday this year, I think, potentially. I mean, this year has gone by. I have no idea what, I just don't know what's happened. So this is actually, like, I'd never heard of it. I love this sort of cover. So The Secret Doctrine is a classic work by H.P. Blavatsky. And I can read you a little bit, but I can't read you too much because it's massive. So Madame Blavatsky's masterpiece of occult philosophy is now scaled down to its essentials, providing the most readable, accessible experience ever of modern history's seminal work of esoterica. Esoterica? Can't speak. So Helena Blavatsky's magnum opus on the origin and development of the universe and humanity itself is arguably the most famous and perhaps the most influential occult book ever written. I am just so excited to read this. So it's all about philosophy and occultism, and like the evolution of man. Oh, there's a misprint here. That's fun. I just cannot wait. I know it's a weird book to have on your list, but I have more weird books. We'll start with this one. So this is a book that I got last Christmas or the Christmas before. So I'm really interested in religion. I'm not a religious person. I'm spiritual in a way, I guess you could say, because I really feel drawn to like nature and, you know, it's kind of like, more like the Wiccan sort of way of life. But I'm no way religious when it comes to religion. But I really, really think it's interesting, and I really wanted to study it at university, but chose not to because it was a bit too in-depth, and basically didn't think I would be able to keep up because I've got dyslexia, so it's kind of difficult for me to be in school settings. I'm excited to read this and learn more about the history of religion and how it's changed over the years, and just get a deeper understanding of the world, because I think religion is a really good way to, it's a good lens to look at the world through, basically. So that's probably not what I'm going to read straight away because I need to get back into fiction more than anything, but it's in the pile. Finally, I have got the script of The Crimes of Grindelwald, and I know that this is such a touchy subject at the moment because J.K. Rowling being the worst. But I was given this because I collect books, so I got it at, I must have got it for Christmas. I mean, it's the hardback, and it's just a script book, so I love reading scripts, and I love the script books of these just because of the design of them. I think they are beautiful books. and we can forget the fact that J.K. Rowling is involved in it, and I'm just going to read it and try and enjoy it for what it is. So that's my TBR pile. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 books to keep me going for however long it takes me to read. I'm not really getting back up to speed with my usual speed, but at least I'm getting back. I also have this, which is a really cute book review pad, which, you know, you write the title and the author and then the things you liked and you didn't like and all that jazz, and give it ratings. So I got this from the book subscription box that I got, and I will leave a link in the description, the independent shop that this is from, because everything that goes into the subscription boxes is by independent artists and shops, and it's just really cute, and I can't wait to try and make that part of my reading habit as well, of writing down what I read and grading it. Hopefully this hasn't been too long and I've managed to edit it into a more condensed, less talkative version. I really hope that you're enjoying these videos. Thank you to everybody who has watched me come back to YouTube. I am really enjoying carving out some time during my weekends to do this and to get back into creating content that is fun. So stay tuned. Next week I am either going to be doing vegan makeup or talking about how to prepare your manuscript for submitting to an agent. So if you are a writer or just interested in the process of that, please let me know in the comments. If enough people leave comments that'll help me pick, that's great. If not, I'm going to pick it on my own and you just get what I decide. So until next week, thank you for tuning in and have a good one.